So when you're ready, simply close your eyes. Hi Nelly, and begin tuning your attention inwards. Okay, I think I've got you all. Starting with the 3 points of mindfulness, just feel your body. So how the weight is spread over your sitting bones. Notice the length of your spine. Perhaps roll the shoulders back and down so that the chest feels a little bit more open so you can breathe more easily. And then simply give yourself permission to settle, to relax, to grow still. So in the first months of your practice, you simply want to everything that you've been doing today. Any plans for the rest of the day or the week? Simply setting an intention to practice with attention and with intention. So as we're focusing on the hips today, just feel that space. Just notice if there's any tension in the lower back, maybe some tightness in the hip flexors. Again, we're not trying to make anything happen, just simply tune in to the current state of affairs. And the second point of mindfulness is your breath. Just take note of its rhythm, the depth and quality. Try not to judge yourself that your breath is shallow or you're not as relaxed as you think you should be. Just expand your field of awareness to simply notice where is the breath in your body. Can you feel it in your chest, in your belly, maybe in the back of the heart? And then focus on any thought patterns of what's going on in your headspace. Just sensing as perhaps thoughts arise and they dissolve. Maybe your mind starts to wander, starts to reminisce or plan. And that's all right. That's what minds do. But simply allow yourself to be in the moment and focus on the tangible aspects of the current moment. So perhaps the breath. So it's a good place to start to anchor your attention. Now let's take a cleansing breath together. So take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, gently relaxing your jaw and your shoulders. And let's do it one more. So deep breath in, feel the chest expanding, your belly rising. And as you exhale, you release any stress, any worries. You give yourself permission to let go of all that and simply be present. And we move straight into the breath work. I'm going to focus on box breathing. So keep your eyes closed and I'm going to count for the first few rounds so you get accustomed to the rhythm. Essentially, you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold your breath for 4, exhale for 4, and sustain for 4. If for whatever reason you don't feel comfortable with breath retention, you can just keep the same length of both inhalation and exhalation. Make it work for you. But if you want to try it, the count of 4 is quite an easy. It's not too long, it's not too strenuous. Then try it with me. So box breathing is particularly good because it this, because you keep the breath the same length, it induces a sense of balance and harmony. So whenever you feel like you get a bit scatty or nervous, then you can go to that one and see if anything changes. Okay, so let's take one deep breath and exhale fully. And then breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds together. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then continue at your own pace. Next 5 rounds. If your attention is hijacked by something, don't worry, just start over. Try to soften your face, keep the shoulders relaxed, yet the spine long, so that your posture is wakeful. One more round. And then relax your breathing. Notice if anything has shifted or changed. Tap in to the sphere of your physical body. Perhaps you feel a bit more still, a bit more settled. But then, keeping the eyes closed if you wish, begin to do a few head rolls. Just move slowly, feeling the gentle tugging and pulling on the tissues. Reminding yourself that there's no rush. Try to find any spots that feel particularly good to release. After a couple of times, switch direction. Any clicking and cracking is perfectly fine, especially if you just got up. Simply connect with your body. Give yourself the time and space to explore how you feel. And then come back to the center. Keep the spine long, rooted through the hips. So try to keep both sits bones down, and then it doesn't matter like really where you keep the legs. What we're gonna go is follow with the breath. So essentially, I just want you to move with the breath. So we're gonna start with some sways from side to side, but then find your own rhythm and keep changing where you place the hand. So as though you're trying to find other areas of your body to open, feel free to close your eyes. If you want to, you can fully fold over the legs if it feels okay. You can come into a gentle back bend, opening through the throat. And essentially, just get lost in the movement. So it might feel a bit strange at first, but if the movement isn't prescribed, if you just go with however you want to go, you can explore so much more. And quite often you tap into the areas that feel a bit tight, that we don't normally have access to because we keep going, forward and back, right and left. So stay with your breath and let it feel good. Feel free to deepen and stay in any of the stretches or folds. This is certainly the part of the practice that should feel good. Another couple of rounds of breath. And when you feel like you're ready, come to the center and just briefly close your eyes. And already notice how you feel. So if you don't have any time in the day to do yoga or just focus on yourself, if you just do that, it can make a tremendous difference. Okay, I'm gonna tap into the hips now. So keep the legs crossed like in front of you, so more or less the shins crossed. And what we're gonna do is just come into a gentle fold. So don't worry about how deeply you go. You just want to feel something happening in the hips. And then as you inhale, you lift up, switch the cross of the legs, and then you fold. So go to an appropriate depth that's, right for you. And we're also working on the dynamic flexibility, because as we're introducing the movement, you need to stretch the legs before you fold, and you're not spending much time, so the tissues are constantly activated. So it's just a slightly different engagement and bringing the energy to the hips. So just a couple more times, and then we're gonna stay. So next time you've got the left leg in front, come into a fold and stay still. Engage your pelvic floor muscles, draw your lower belly in. Try to keep your spine long and the chest fairly open. Stay on the fingertips, use a block, any props you have. If after a while, keeping the breath long, your body welcomes it, you can come to your forearms. Don't force it. Just allow the body to tell you when it's ready to go slightly more deeply. And considering it's the beginning of the practice, try not to be too demanding. And then inhale, switch the cross of the legs, we're coming to the other side. So remember, I always say that we're hardly symmetrical. I think it's particularly apparent in the hips. So on one side, you might be able to do something, and then on the other side, you're just like, first time you go on the mat. So try to be accepting, your body's doing its best. It's trying its best. Take a deep breath in. And lengthen the exhalation. That will help you relax. Then inhale, come back up. And we're going to switch coming into child's pose. So just for the sake of comparison, for now, try to keep the knees together, your bum on your heels, and then fold over the thighs. So you can support your head with something if you need to, or just drop your head to the mat. Gently squeeze the thighs together, lengthen through the back, and allow the shoulders to relax. So you're going to stay here for 3 rounds of breath. And notice where you can feel the inhalation. So your breathing is slightly constricted, so you might feel in the back of your chest, the sides of your body. And then inhale, lift yourself up. You're going to come into wild-legged child's pose, so then you will know which one is more appropriate for you. So knees as wide as the mat, and then you fold into the space you've created. So this position also helps to tap into the muscles in the groin. You can stay in the forearms, or you can surrender, just resting your forehead on the mat. And give yourself a few moments to relax. Just consciously softening through the inner thighs, through the groin, and just receive the stretch. And then inhale, you can walk up and release the legs. So now it's your call. You've got 2 options to choose from, or there's another one just to complicate things. So you're going to try to find like a really wide stretch. So obviously just make it work for you, because that's quite hard on the groins. And then you aim to come and fold all the way down. So you will feel it instantly in the front of the hip and the area of the inner thighs. And then if you want to, you can bring the head down. So it's like you're trying to bring the chest all the way down. So see which version is appropriate for you, which one brings you comfort. And breathe deeply. Just going to stay here for another 3 breaths. So especially when it comes to like lower back tension. So it can just stem from the hips. So if you bring the knees together in your child's pose, you allow your lower back to lengthen. So that can be good. But sometimes it's the tight hip flexors that are causing like the tightness. So after the practice, you'll be able to tell how your lower back feels. And then slowly, with the next breath in, slowly walk yourself back up, pushing yourself up with the hands. We're going to move into something dynamic just to get your hips used to like movement. So that brings more mobility into the area. So extend your arms slightly in front of you, so you've got a bit more space to move your hips. You can stay on the fists if you've got any wrist issues. And we're going to inhale, shift forward, and aim to bring the hips down, keeping the chest and spine open. So don't worry if your hips don't go all the way. Mine don't, probably never will. And then as you exhale, you shift back. So 4 more times. Inhale, shift forward. And then exhale, come back. So 3 more times. Try to keep the hips relaxed. Just mobilizing the area. Keep the breath calm and steady. And just focus on your practice. One more time. I'm going to stay here. So it's like gravity is on your side here. So try to relax through the hips. So that will make the muscles heavier and will help to facilitate a deeper stretch. Work with the breath. Keep it deep and long. That will help your body relax. That will signal to your autonomic nervous system that everything's fine. No need to get tense. Just hold it for a couple more breaths. It's all good. And then push yourself back. Bring the knees together and transition over onto your backs. I'm going to start in constructive rest pose. So feet as wide as your mat and knees knocking in towards each other. And give yourself a hug. That might help release the shoulders a little bit. But also it's that, little act of kindness. I don't know how many of you live with other people. This might be the first hug you got today. As weird as it sounds, it still helps to release like endorphins. And the constructive rest pose helps to release the hip flexors in a passive way. So next, exhale, release your arms and tune into your lower back, your pelvis. Okay. Bring the feet hip distance apart, fairly close to your bum so you can just about graze the back of your heels. Try to keep the feet parallel. That will help you bear weight as you shift the hips up. And we're going to move dynamically. So as you inhale, you peel the pelvis off the mat, pushing it up towards the sky. Squeeze your thighs together. Exhaling slowly lower. Breathing in. Feel the spine off the mat. And exhale, bring it down. Try not to turn your head from side to side when you're in this position. Inhale up, lift it as high as you can. And exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, bring it down. And this time, inhale, lift up and stay here. So press down strongly through the heels. Draw your lower belly in. Notice where you can feel your breath. And if you can feel your legs burn. So you're going to stay here for 3, for 2, for 1, and then slowly release. So pause for a moment, give yourself a break. I'm going to come up into bridge pose one more time. This time you can come into a slightly deeper variation. So as you breathe in, shift the hips up. If you're okay here, then it's cool, just stay. You can interlace the fingers behind you, straighten the arms and walk the shoulders in. So that grants you a deeper opening through the front of your body and your chest. And it feels a bit more like a back bend. So you press the arms and the shoulders strongly in. Just meet yourself where you are. Keep breathing. It's all good. If you feel your legs burning, just allow them to burn. It's just a sensation. I can feel it too. I'm not just being patronizing. And one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, release your hands and slowly lower the hips down. So pause for a moment. We're going to try something else that will also require your core to participate to keep you in this position. So when you come into your bridge, to find a variation that works for you, I'd probably say stay with the palms down because you can press them into the mat. Walk the feet in closer together. Lift your hips a bit higher, and if you want to, you can extend the left leg out. So push out through the heel. It doesn't matter how high you lift it. I'm sure you will feel it. So we're going to stay here for 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, release. Oh, I got a cramp. You see, I counted quicker this time, didn't I? Okay, let's do it on the other side. So find your bridge and gauge how stable it feels before you move. So feet closer together, so then you can transition the weight onto the left leg and extend the right. Relax your face and your shoulders and hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Well done. Draw the knees towards your chest, give them a hug, roll from side to side. Keeping your shoulders soft, your lower back on the mat. And then roll yourself up and transition over onto all fours. Because you know, with flexibility, it's never just a flexibility. I think dynamic flexibility, which is essentially strength, but in a lengthened position of the muscle, is really important, because it's either like you go into just stretching or you go into the strength. But actually you need to realize that it's all like interwoven. So that's why we do a bit of both. Finding a solid foundation for your tabletop. So keep your fingers spread wide. So even if you've got any wrist issues, you might want to give this one a go, because we won't be bearing too much weight on the wrists. Spread your fingers wide and press down through the fingertips. Then press through the knuckles and then the heels of your hands. So now you're really using the whole surface to press down and root into the ground. Gently squeeze your core and hold this position. Notice how that feels. What muscles, what other muscles participate in this exercise. Just breathe deeply and hold your entire body in awareness. So then you're going to extend the right leg out, keeping the right hip dropped as much as you can. So we're not rolling it out, but keeping it parallel to the mat. Push up through the heel, and we're going to engage the hamstrings, because quite often they're tight, they're weak. So we need to do something to strengthen them. And it's really hard, because usually you just focus on stretching. So pushing up through the heels, begin to slowly bend your leg, bringing the heel to your bum. Moving really slow so you can feel the engagement. Keep squeezing, and then inhale, straighten the leg. So twice more. Exhale. And inhale. So one more time. Keep your core engaged. And the straight leg. Just hold it here. And you can either stay here, squeezing the heel to your bum. So that will help you strengthen the hip flexors, like the hamstrings even. Or if your balance allows you, you can lift the left hand off the mat and see if you can reach for the foot. If you can comfortably grab it, then you can kick the foot into the hand, finding a mini back bend. But if you can't, don't obsess over grabbing it. There are other ways. We're going to find the space in the front of your hip. Take another breath in, and then exhale, gently release, switching sides. So inhale, straighten the left leg, push up through the heel, brace your core. Exhale, slowly begin to bend. Twice more, breathe in, push up through the heel. Exhale, feel that engagement. So you want to keep the thigh parallel to the mat. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Lengthen through the leg. Oh, actually bend it. Forgot about that part. And if you want to see if you can grab the foot with the right hand. Maybe just keeping the right hand off the mat will be enough to challenge you today. Wherever you are, focus on stability and rooting down through the right knee and the left hand. Breathe into your chest and then gently release. So come to sit on your heels. Interlace the fingers behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down. Stay here for a moment. Breathe into the chest. Release the front of your shoulders. And with the next exhalation, gently fold. Wherever you can, you don't have to go all the way down. We're not pulling with the shoulders. We're just allowing the mat to receive the weight of our body. and also allowing the shoulders to gently stretch. Then inhale, lift yourself up. Release your arms, give them a little shake. So I'm gonna do another little flow that will help you integrate the strength of your core with pushing the hips forward to find a gentle back bend. So as you inhale, lift up, bring the arms over the head, gently squeeze your belly and reach up. So as though you want to bring your sternum up towards the ceiling, and then if it feels good, into a gentle back bend. So what's important here is that I'm not doing this because that's too much for the lower back, but instead I'm trying to find as much length, lift my spine out of the pelvis. And as you exhale, then slowly lower, bringing the heels down and go as deep, as low as you want. So 3 more times. Inhale, find as much length through the front of the body. And exhale, squeezing your core, controlling the movement down. Breathe in. And out. One more time. And then come up, step the right foot between the hands. You may need to shift the left knee back, coming into low lunge. So you remember how we did it last week? We want to keep the right knee over the ankle and then slide your hips forward and down. So just find as much space, as much length in the front of the left hip. So allow yourself to settle. Keep the spine nice and long, shoulders relaxed. And see if you can drag your hips a little bit more forward, a bit more down. Try to keep the right ankle underneath the right knee. So you've got this nice right angle there. That's it. Perfect. So breathe into any areas where you feel intensity or sensations. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, shift the hips back, flexing the right foot. If you can't straighten the leg, it's fine. Keep it bent as long as you feel sensations in the back of the right leg. So if you need to stay upright, it's perfectly fine too. Right foot is flexed, so that supports your hamstrings. Because there's an activation line, so nothing is limp, nothing is relaxed, but it's all in this like chain of activation. Keep the thigh engaged and breathe. I'm not going to stay here too much longer. Then inhale, shift yourself forward, come back to all fours, left foot between the hands. When you're ready, come up and just check what's going on this side. Allow yourself to simply be, giving the body the time it needs. And also noticing any thought patterns, any emotions that arise when you meet resistance or a challenge. And just like we did at the beginning of the practice, with the 3 points of mindfulness, you simply acknowledge it and let it go. So drop your hips a bit further down. One more breath in. And with the breath out, shift your hips back. Drop them down. Find an appropriate depth of the hamstring stretch for you. And I don't know about you guys, but in terms of hamstrings or quads, they just never seem to be okay. They always tense. But I guess that's how we've been designed. So just another thing that we can practice, acceptance and contentment on. And then inhale, shift yourself forward. Exhale to all fours. Keep your fingers spread wide. Prepare for down dog. Tuck your toes under. And as you inhale, lift up to down dog. Stay on the fists. If it gets too intense, you can always drop down to your knees. That still helps to strengthen the shoulders. And pedal your feet. So bend one leg and straighten the other at a time. So that helps you tune into your hips, your lower back, perhaps the back of the legs a little bit more. And then settle in your down dog for 3 rounds of breath. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. Just one more. Breathe in and out. Then slowly walk your feet towards your hands, bending the knees if you need to. When you get there, bend your legs generously so you can fold over them. Clasp the opposite elbow and relax your head, your upper body. If it feels okay, maybe you straighten the back of the legs, lift the hips up, and just dangle. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. No force, no struggle. Then release your arms. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands on shins, long spine. Exhale, gently fold. Breathing in, bend your legs a lot and slowly roll yourself up all the way to standing. Roll the shoulders back and down and come to the top of your mat or thereabouts. So what I mentioned is that with hips, it's not just strengthening or just stretching. We need to find a bit of both. But then why wouldn't we throw balance in there as well? So I'm going to do a chair pose. So keep the feet together if you struggle with balance, hip distance apart. I personally prefer to keep them together. Then you inhale your arms over the head. And as you exhale, you sink your hips low. If this is too much for the shoulders, keep the hands at your heart or on your hips. The key is to press down through the heels. And when you look down, you can see all of your 10 toes. So draw your lower belly in, find some length through the lower back, and sink your hips low. Squeeze the knees together. Just a little bit lower. Just a little bit more. You can do it. Just a little bit more. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Keep them nice and straight. So enjoy this moment. And then inhale, slowly roll yourself all the way up. Just one more time, open through the chest and shake your arms and legs out. So we're going to do it one more time. Hold it for a few breaths and then move on with the flow. So inhale, arms over the head. And exhale, sink low. So check what you need to do with your arms. I'm going to add something to this if you want to. So sinking low, and maybe you shift the weight onto the right foot and see if you can lift the left. Get intense. Then bring the left foot down and maybe lift the right foot up. Just come back to your regular chair. Appreciate how stable this structure is. Sink it lower, squeeze the thighs together. Feel the fire, I can feel it. And with the next exhale, straighten the legs and release. Well done. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, plant your hands and step back into downward dog. Drop your knees low. Keep them as wide as your mat and slide back for your version of the wild-legged child's pose. That you feel some stretch through the inner thighs. Also allow yourself to rest. Catch your breath if you've lost it. and find a little strength. And with the next inhale, lift up halfway, tuck your toes under, and as you exhale, make your way into down dog. And slowly walk your feet towards your hands. I've got a surprise for you. As you exhale, you sink the hips low into chair. Extend your arms. Inhale, come up. You didn't stay there too long. Release your arms. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, gently fold. So keep your chest open, your spine long. As you fold, bending the legs if you need to. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, step your left foot long step back and drop the knee down. So we find ourselves in a low lunge. Breathing in, come up. And exhale, drop your hips. So stay here for a moment. If you want to, you can extend the arms over the head, finding a gentle back bend. So that should intensify the stretch all the way through the left side of the hip flexors. This may or may not feel good. Just try to stay with whatever sensations you can feel. Lifting your spine out of the pelvis. And then drop your hands down, tuck your back toes, and transition into down dog, whichever way you can. Then inhale, step your left foot between the hands. Give yourself a helping hand if it doesn't quite go thus far. And then drop the right knee down. Inhale, come up. And we're in low lunge on the other side. So notice if anything has changed. Maybe now your body is a bit more, it's a bit warmer. Then some postures, some movements feel a little bit more accessible. Don't worry if you're not ready yet or you're not sure yet. And again, stay here, hands at heart, or inhale, lift up towards the sky. Find where you want to be. Another breath in. And then as you exhale, tuck your back toes and then step into plank. You can stay with the knees down as well. It's your call. So hold it here. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down, whichever you like. Hands by your low ribs. Roll the shoulders back and down. And as you inhale, gently push up. So to activate the muscles in the back line of your body, lifting your spine into a back bend. And then exhale, slowly come down. Inhale through plank or tabletop. Make your way into down dog. Now bring the left foot closer, so in between your feet. Point your back foot, so your right foot, and then inhale the left leg up, not the right leg. It's one of those days. Keep reaching the right leg as high as you can, keeping the hip down, and focus on rooting down through the left heel. Then exhale, bring the right foot down. I'm going to switch sides. Point your left foot and then inhale, left leg up. Keep pressing strongly through the hands. Draw your lower belly in and breathe. Exhale, bring the left foot down and slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Exhale, fold. And with an inhalation, slowly roll up. So as though you're stacking the vertebrae. Roll the shoulders back and down, push the chest forward. And bring the hands at your heart. Close your eyes. Feel your body. Remember, Tadasana is like coming home. It's the moment to reevaluate. Just take time if you need to get anything, like get some water, any support. Feel your breath. And then open your eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms over the head. Exhale, slowly fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands on shins or fingertips down. And exhale, step your left foot back. Now you get to choose. Do you want to stay with the left knee down or keep it up? It's entirely up to you. Squeeze the legs towards the center line of the body. The back thigh is engaged. And feel how your weight is distributed. So you want it to be 50-50. So that will provide you most stability. When you feel you're ready, inhale, come up. So in case anyone's missed it, you can stay with the left knee down. Or if you feel like you've got the strength, you want to challenge yourself, you can keep the back leg straight. Same principle, the knee is over the ankle, so we're not unnecessarily straining the knee, because if it's too far forward, then is it what ACL joint? It just gets a little bit too taxed. Then sink your hips low. Maybe you need to widen the stance. What's going on? And then you can either stay here or go a little surprise. You bend the back leg and drop the knee so it's hovering above the mat. So that helps you strengthen the hip flexors in the eccentric position. So this is really hard. You don't have to do it. Then inhale, straighten the back leg. I'm going to do it twice more. Choose what's appropriate. So that's one of the biggest lessons of practicing yoga, that you do what feels right for you. Exhale, drop the knee down. Inhale, lift it up. Keep your lower abs engaged. And one more time. Exhale and hold it for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten it. Frame the front foot. Step back into down dog. Or drop the knees low if you need to rest. Into child's pose for a couple of breaths. Still got one more side to do. You're doing great. So if you're in child's pose, make your way into down dog. And then step the left foot between the hands. Same principle. Drop the right knee down. If you feel challenged here, or if you want to, keep the back leg straight. And again, have a little chat with your body. Negotiate, with gravity, so you're not too far back because you're not working your quads. You're not too far forward. Just try to feel your body in space. And use the visual representation as well. If you can, then why not? So settle here. Feel the fire burning. I can certainly feel it today. Hands at your heart and your hips, or wherever feels okay. I'm feeling a bit scatty today, so I'm just gonna keep my hands here. And then, if you want to go down with me, then slowly bend the right leg, making sure that the left knee is over the ankle. And inhale, straighten it. 2 more times. We can do it, guys. I can do it. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift it up. Keep your core engaged. One more time, we're going to hold it down. Bring it down for 3, 2, 1. And straighten the leg. Bring the hands down. Step into plank. Drop your knees down. And find pose. Well done. It's not over yet, but that was definitely the hardest part. Give yourself a pat on the back. Regardless how well or not so well you did, whatever happened, you're doing great. And it's in the times where we don't do as well as we think we should or we would like to. This is where the most learning happens in terms of humility. That's something I always struggle with. But remember, no ego, no problem. Okay, then come up and spin so that your legs are in front of you. So your hamstrings should feel fairly warmed up now. So keep the feet flexed and squeeze the thighs together. Again, you want to keep your lower belly in, so that helps you keep the deep core activation throughout the pose. So then see how far you can reach with your hands. If you can grab hold of your toes or your feet, it's cool. If you can't, it's great. We're simply feeling how far our body wants to go down. So keeping the spine straight, can begin to close this gap between your floating ribs and the thighs. So it's not just a passive stretch. I'm using my core muscles to fold here. So go wherever you need to be. Keep drawing the lower belly in. And then you can round your back as much as you want to. Maybe tip your head slowly from side to side to notice if you can feel sensations somewhere where you wouldn't expect them to be. So I can feel it like in my lower back, which sometimes feels nice, sometimes a bit tender. So find where you need to be for another couple of breaths. And then inhale slowly, walk yourself back up. So shift yourself forward and using your slowly lower down. Keeping the legs bent, cross your left foot over the right knee and just see how that feels, where you can feel, if you can feel anything at this stage. Keep the left foot flexed so that you support the knee, so there wouldn't be any unnecessary tension. And energetically focus on pushing the left knee away from your body. So it's not here, but it's like going away from you. And that might already, turn something on. If you want to lift the right leg and interlace your fingers behind the right thigh. So keep the shoulders down. Feel the weight of your head pressing into the mat. So Justina, we've got the right foot crossing the left foot crossing the right knee and pushing the left knee away from you. So you can stay here or bring the legs up. And if you feel particularly open or your body is welcoming it, you can very gently bring the right leg closer to you, but be very mindful. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. So keep this rhythm, sending your breath to any areas where you feel intensity. So you're not trying to make the sensations go away, but simply soften by shifting our focus on where the sensations are happening. Then let go of the right leg. And keep the left one exactly where it is. Extend your arms to the side or into a cactus shape. And then allow the legs to drop to the right side of the mat, however they want to. So you're in a gentle twist. Your shoulder blades are down, but your left hip is lifting off the mat. And if this doesn't feel great, you can just uncross the legs. Begin to let go of the practice, any engagement. Just allow your body to just lay there. Done a lot of hard work. Now it's time to reset and settle. Bring yourself back to the center. And we're switching sides. So right foot over the left knee. And again, notice how that feels. Push the right knee away. And maybe on this side, this is where you want to stay. Just because our, both sides may feel a little bit different, we shouldn't force them to act the same. We should honor the differences. It's hard. I hate it. I'm being honest with you. But you can't force your body to do something it's not ready to. If, however, it feels okay, you want to lift the left leg, and gently hold on to it, making sure your right foot is flexed. Stay with your breath. Soften your forehead. And just allow yourself to feel. Now when you start releasing hips, quite often a lot of ugly stuff can come up, but it's okay. It's like, how they say that you can't bottle things, and if there's some stuff you need to process, then you just got to do it. Draw the left leg slightly closer towards your chest if it feels good. And with the next exhalation, gently bring it back down, arms out, and then slowly drop the legs to the left. And again, if this doesn't feel good with the right leg crossed over the left knee, then just find any twisted position so you can release the spine. Try to consciously let go of any engagement in your legs. And with the next breath in, come back to the center. If you want to, bring the knees towards your chest, or if there's anything else that your body still is like, oh my God, I gotta do it, then just go for it. And then you can extend your arms and legs out, or stay in constructive rest pose if it feels a bit nicer for your lower back. Any eye pillows, blankets, because you'd be surprised how quickly your body loses that heat when you stop moving in Shavasana. So any socks. All the blankets and jumpers. And take a really deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth like we did at the beginning of the practice. I'm going to do it twice more. So deep inhalation. Feel as though you could lift yourself a few inches off the mat. And exhale through the mouth. Just one more time. Really deep breath in. And as you exhale, release any residual tension, tightness, any stresses, anything that weighs you down. Or give yourself permission to let go. Sometimes we're not ready to release stuff. But if you allow yourself, and if you create that, space, the atmosphere of acceptance and the safe space to feel things, then you might surprise yourself and be actually ready to let go. we're going to end how we started with the 3 points of mindfulness. Tune into your physical body. How are you feeling now compared to how you were at the beginning of the practice? There is no right or wrong. If you feel worse, it's fine. I've been there too. Notice your breath. And check in with your headspace. Now take a deeper, more energizing breath in. And bring your awareness back into your physical body, surroundings. Invite some gentle movement into the body so you can wiggle your toes, your fingers. Take a full body stretch. And then roll over onto one side. So head up with one of your arms, keep the legs bent. So just to accentuate that you're transitioning back into the day, you want to hold on to some of that peace and poise that you've tapped into. And bring yourself into a comfortable seat. And if you would like to join for the final chant together, I've asked to unmute you, but you don't have to, it's your call. I think that's everyone. So many clicking. Come back to your seat. Keep your eyes closed and bring the hands at your heart. So in a gesture of gratitude, gently bow your head and thank yourself for making the time to be here. It is a commitment. Thank your body for doing all the wonderful things that it does for you every day and it's still striving to do. And let's close this practice with one round of Om. So take a deep inhale to Om. Just spend a moment here, tuning into the vibrations of that helps you tap into that place of inner peace that's already there. So feel connected with yourself and the people you have practiced with. And then open your eyes. So thank you very much for your practice with me today. Namaste. Which means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Let me know if you have any questions. Next week, grab a strap. If you don't have a strap, a scarf or like a dressing gown strap will be enough, or like even a hoodie, because we're going to do focus more on stretching. So we did quite a lot of the eccentric contractions, so kind of like strengthening or finding the dynamic flexibility. Next week it's going to be all indulgent, all about finding length and relaxation and being long and like noodles. So yeah, have you got any questions about today? Cool. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely evening and a lovely day, and let me know if you need anything. Much love. That's all right, you're very welcome. Bye bye. Rosie, I'll message you.